Alrighty, Supernatural Sims fans, we are back. Last time we built Bella's cute little house, but today we're going full vampire royalty. It's time to build the Cullen mansion. But before we get into the house, we need to be dramatic, brooding, ridiculously good looking residents. First up, we've got Carlisle, Edward, Rosalie, Alice, Jasper, Emmett, and Esme. Flashing through these quickly. Pale, golden eyes, iconic hair, and of course the eternally I haven't slept in 100 days expression. Traits, smart, brooding, virtuoso, music, we'll call it that for some of them. Let's be real, maybe even over emotional. Keeping it simple, Jasper has the always looks uncomfortable look, Rosalie has the fashionable, Emmett has that fun uncle look, and Carlisle and Esme are just perfect. So that is pretty simple. Make sure that we are actually making them all vampires. I didn't want to screw that bit up. And making sure that those eyes are all perfect. Trying to get some of their outfits was a little bit tricky, but we got there in the end. We didn't have Alice's famous vest, which was a little bit annoying. Alrighty. And we are pretty much done. Let's move on. Now, we need a big lot because the Cullens don't do modest. We own 17 luxury cars and pretend to be high school students. I'm picking like a woody area because Edward needs a place to run dramatically at inhuman speeds, but also a little bit out of town because the Cullens don't live in town. The Cullen house is like a mix of modern mansion and forest retreat, big glass walls, crisp white walls, and just a hint of we have secrets. So we've got the clean lines, lots of open windows, expensive taste, and adding in lots of bushes to give it that woody vibe. Getting this angle that the kitchen and dining room was so tricky because it's not quite a 45-degree angle, which is all that Sims 3 gives us. So I sort of had to take some creative liberties as per the 700 posts underneath. But we can ignore those, that's fine. And then also with the staircases, they have half platforms for their staircases and we couldn't do that. And that drove me a little bit mad, but it's okay, here we are. Another thing I realised is you couldn't put artwork along with the staircases without some mods. So things like the caps we kind of missed out on, which is really sad because that was like a pivotal point, but that's okay. Alrighty, Edward's room is weirdly empty because he doesn't sleep, but instead of a bed, we've added in endless books and CDs for all his dramatic lullabies and massive windows so he can stare outside in deep vampire thought. We've also got the daybed in there and all the essentials. There were a few shots of the movie where you could add in things. That's my attempt at the caps there. Got the foyer going and then the kitchen. The kitchen was a little bit tricky because yet again that 45-degree angle was all that we could do. So trying to get that perfect and then adding in the garage scene. The Cullens don't drive cars, they collect them, so that needed to be quite fancy. These are sort of the rooms now that weren't shown, so I kind of went to the original house listing to look at what they've got there and kind of copy, it is pretty cool if you haven't checked it out already. Now, making the living room, we had to include lots of books, lots of fresh light, lots of fancy items, but also the grand piano, because Edward would be there. Now, the back of the house kind of levels out, but I do remember Edward flying into the trees, so we had to add trees and trees and trees and trees and trees and trees. Then we went for all the bathrooms because the Sims were starting to stink, and all the other bedrooms, adding them in quickly. You really don't see many shots of them, so they're not as detailed as Edward's is. I assume they might be very similar, but in their own way, and then adding in Esme and Carlisle's bedroom, which is very fancy, I must say. So adding in all those final, soft, elegant, and normalish touches. I don't know why I gave all the others beds. I'm only just realizing that. They definitely didn't need them anyways. Here we go. The finished product. What do you think? Leave your comments below. We've got the famous foyer. It is looking almost identical. Through here is another one of the bedrooms I just threw in. And then to the back, we've also got the famous garage, which we see in Twilight. Then upstairs, we've got the living room. I'm really loving it. It's huge. It's open through... Oh, someone's made a mess on the floor. And we've got a tree poking through our window. Our famous kitchen. And then if we turn around and zoom out, we've got Edward's bedroom. And you can't beat that. All right, let me know what you think in the comments below. Bye.